Café Networking Podcast promotes successful business experts. I'm Tom Reaoch, known as the King of Networking, connecting people throughout the world from my podcast studio in Brazil. Today we talk with LaQuita Monley, leadership trainer, joining us from Kileen, Texas. LaQuita Monley is speaker, coach, CEO at LaQuita Monley Solutions, and podcast host at LaQuita's Toolbox. She loves to equip individuals and organizations to unlock full potential, live out their mission in the most authentic way. So, LaQuita, why is knowing who you are so important?
Well, Tom, if we don't know who we are, then how will we truly understand the purpose and the plan that we've been designed to fulfill here on the earth? So knowing who you are is important in order to where people talk all about pursuing your purpose and your passion. If I don't know who I am, I will not be able to connect with purpose or passion.
And so there are many who we are's in us, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we tend to confuse that with the hats that we wear. Mom, dad, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, wife, husband, etc. But deep down on the inside of us, in order for us to figure out who we are, we must first understand our core values, and our core values will point us in a forward direction to understanding who we are as an individual, whether it's culturally, and I'm speaking more individualistically, whether it's based on the faith that we have or non-faith, but it makes us an individual. And it's important that we understand that as we're moving forward to define, you know, who we are and what it is that we've been called to do.
Well, and I agree with you because it's the us, it's the we, it's the me that supports the hats that we have on our head.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a military spouse, proud Army wife. My husband spent over 24 plus years active duty. And out of that, we have 5 amazing adult children and grandchildren. But at age 25, I had a triggering moment. And in that moment, I realized I had absolutely no idea who I was. I understood that I was, at that time, Staff Sergeant Monley's wife.
Right.
I was Daryl Devontae Denise David Marquez's mom. I was the daughter of my mom, which is Kim, the daughter of Jesse, my dad. I was Kim and Jesse's daughter, but I had no idea who LaQuita was. All of my references to who I am pointed back to my childhood. But standing there as a 25-year-old married woman, mother of 5 and a dog, and trying to collect a mortgage.
Traveling around the world, right? Yeah,
and
getting
traveling around the world. Yes, right? I had no idea who I was or what it is that I wanted to do. I assumed that it was career or education focused. And those are great, but those are not who we are. Those are things that we do.
Right.
And it took me a few years, an amazing spiritual journey, reconnecting with my faith, and some counseling to really discover who LaQuita is and what makes LaQuita tick, and why am I doing the things now as a 46-year-old woman. Why am I doing these things? I would have never done the things that you named off had I not had that moment at age 25.
Well, that's for all of us, really, because when we're 20, all right, I never thought that I would even be here where I am. I'm in a whole different country, a whole different culture, doing a whole bunch of stuff. And, you know, you never think about that because life is long. And the who we are prepares us for a longer journey than we actually think is going to be there.
Absolutely. Understanding who we are also gives us a framework to define success on our own and not let outside situations and circumstances, whether consciously or subconsciously, define our definition of success. Understanding who I am as an individual has also taught me that my redefining or refining of my definition of success, it has to grow, it has to shift, it has to change, because we grow as individuals, we shift, we change. In our core, yes, we are, you know, we are who we are, but the way that we want to pursue life, it changes as we get a little older and a little wiser.
Well, maybe that's wise, right? Well, it could be.
It could be.
No, it does. Be. No, but I see you work with, you say you equip individuals and organizations. Obviously, when we're talking about the self and we're talking me or I, But in organizations, does the same thing hold true? Who is or what is the organization?
Absolutely. It holds true because an organization at the end of the day is a group of individuals that have collectively come together as a unit in order to push a vision or a mission of a company forward. And we see that in a lot of companies, I don't care whether they're small, medium, or large. Mm-hmm. If they've been long lasting, you can go back 10, right. 15, 20 years and see how that company has evolved, how their leadership has evolved. Well, as a company, companies that have brought me in to do specific trainings, mm-hmm. it is designed, yes, for, say, it's the marketing team.
Right.
But when we break it down, each individual on that marketing team needs to understand their role, mm-hmm. needs to understand why their role is important, needs to understand the roles of the other individuals in that department. It brings us back to the individual. Now, I'm not talking selfishly or, like a negative type of individualistic thing, but we have to take responsibility.
Right.
And if we don't understand that, if I'm sitting in a role and I've spent all of this time in university to become a marketing major because of the money, mm-hmm. I have the skill, but I don't have the passion.
Right.
But in individual trainings such as this, and I help them to figure out, this is not really my passion. Perhaps if we shift Ann from marketing and we shift her over into finance, because that's what she's really passionate about, she can mm-hmm. take that expertise mm-hmm. instead of having the clash between marketing and finance, because in order to effectively market, we've got to understand the finance. They still work together. Let's kind of move the people around on the chessboard so that they can play to their strengths.
Well, that's a reality that's become even stronger post-pandemic, because many companies have restructured themselves, placed themselves in different ways. So we talk about remote working, hybrid working. We talk about all different types of concepts. But even you, as you've been out in the world culturally is different, but many things are the same.
Absolutely.
And virtual and remote connections and showing yourself remotely, that's today's name of the game.
Absolutely.
We're not local anymore. It's not who I am here in Brazil or who you are there in Texas. It's who we are in a global world.
Yes, we are a global world. We are creating or have created a global economy. Mm-hmm. For many years, the military used VTC, as what we call virtual telecommunications. Mm-hmm. i.e. Zoom, Google Meet, et cetera, Microsoft Teams is something that the military has done for a number of years. And as many things have, that technology is shifted over into us as consumers. And I believe that it has enhanced, our ability to be effective at everything we're doing, whether it's in corporate or as an entrepreneur. Our ability to connect with each other, having this visual connection, not just over the telephone, a real-time visual connection and conversation is definitely a game changer.
Well, to that game, how can our listeners find you?
Great question. Thanks so much for asking.
And it's listeners from anywhere in the world, right?
From anywhere in the world. You listeners can connect with me via my website at www.LaQuitaMonley.com. They can also connect with me via my podcast, which is LaQuita's Toolbox, and they can connect with me there at www.LaQuita/toolbox.captivate.fm.
Very good. Well, again, thanks for being part and sharing your experience with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And for listeners, again, it's LaQuita Monley, LaQuita Monley. You find her on her site, which is LaQuitaMonley.com. Café and Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information at their site, which is FOCUSMI.com. Thanks for listening until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.